الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and good afternoon. First of all, please welcome our respective speaker for today, Dr. Yahia Abdul-Rahman, our INSAF PCAO, Mr. Dawood, INSAF Chief Academic Officer, Datuk Syed Osman, and INSAF COO, Mr. Zalim. Welcome to all faculty members, staff, students, and our respective guests. Welcome to our talk for today. We are very fortunate to have our speaker for today. Dr. Yahia will be delivering a talk on challenges facing riba-free banking in the 21st century. Very relevant for all students, especially those who are taking masters and PhD. He will share his experience, knowledge, and also practical experience, especially in managing LARIBA Whittier Bank. Before I proceed and I invite our speaker to give his talk, just a brief to go through our agenda for today. Dr. Yahia will deliver his speech. Then afterwards, inshallah, we will open for questions to all guests for today. And afterward, inshallah, once we finish, when we concluded our program, lunch is provided to all. Before I invite our speaker, Dr. Yahia, probably I'm going to introduce a bit his background. Dr. Yahia was born in Cairo, Egypt. He has Master in Arts International Finance from University of Texas, Dallas in 1976, with emphasis on international monetary theory. He has published few articles and books, but the most prominent one is The Art of Riba-Free Islamic Banking and Finance, published by John Wiley. The second edition, I was informed, was released in November 2014. He is known as the father of Islamic banking in North America. He has established the first riba-free bank in United States of America, and the bank known as LARIBA-Bank of Whittier. It was established since 1987 until today, still in operation in North America. He has received the Global Royal Award in Islamic Finance in 2010, 2012, and 2014. I believe what he's going to deliver afterwards will tell more about his experience and his knowledge in Islamic finance. Therefore, without further ado, I would like to invite our speaker today, Dr. Yahia Abdul-Rahman, to the stage to deliver his speech. Please welcome him.
I'd like to thank you very much for coming, and I love the seats. They remind me of a first-class seat on the airplane. So we have first-class seats here at INSEAF, and I wish that I'd say that from your mouth to God's ears that I would take the Rowan Award one of these days. I did not take any Rowan Awards. I'm a member of the jury of the Rowan Awards. We have a 6-member jury, which actually meets on a regular basis to filter, evaluate, and decide on the person that is qualified to be the awardee for the Royal Award. And we've done that 2010, 2012, and 2014. It gives me a great pleasure to see you all this afternoon. And I'm not going to take much of your time, probably half an hour. I'll do it very, very fast. But I want to touch base with you on a number of items that we've done. First of all, the new book is out, and I think I have a box here where I'm going to leave about 4 or 5 or 6 copies for the library, but I haven't seen it, so it will come inshallah. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept, and I want to congratulate all of you because you are making history. We call riba-free banking RF banking and the RF lifestyle because we want to go to the next step, and that's the popularization of riba-free banking. We want to popularize RF banking to Muslims and non-Muslims, to people of all faith and all backgrounds. And alhamdulillah, we are making some inroads, some successes in that endeavor, and we want to continue on doing it, inshallah. As you know, we live in the United States. We have many customers and acquaintances who are not Muslims and who love our discipline, and we share with them that discipline. And I would like to speak to you about the challenges on the 21st century facing RF banking. This is the agenda, and the agenda we're going to be talking about LARIBA and how we started LARIBA very quickly, the background, and then the history, the real contributions of Islam to riba-free life. Riba-free lifestyle, riba-free finance, and riba-free banking. And then we're going to talk about the Malaysian contribution to Islamic banking. And I included this because I noticed that many Malaysians at many universities do not know what Malaysia has done in Islamic banking. And that should be publicized. You should be proud of what you all have done, being Malaysian or non-Malaysian. But this is something that you should be happy to participate in, and I hope you will be an important factor to make it better. And then we're going to talk about the challenges facing RF banking and a quick review of the book, and I hope that one or two or three will have the time to read the book carefully, because I think it puts together a whole treatise of finance from the time of the prohibition of riba in Judaism, which is called ribit in the Old Testament, and the prohibition of ribit in Christianity, and of course in Islam, up to the United Kingdom or England, Mr. King Henry the VI and the VII, and so on and so forth. And the book talks about this in great details, and I hope you will find it very useful. First, I'd like to talk to you about LARIBA-Bank of Whittier. We started the company in 1987 as a finance company. In the United States, there are two structures: a finance company whereby the shareholders put in the capital, and the finance company would only expose the capital of the shareholders to risk, whereby you can go out and finance projects and so on and so forth, and then the risk would be only to the capital. And that's why finance companies are not allowed to take deposits. And that's why they're called finance companies. And then there are banks. Banks are depository institutions, which are institutions licensed by the United States government. And there are two types of banks: state banks and national banks. A state bank is actually licensed by the state banking authority of the state involved. So if you are in the state of Texas, then it's a state of Texas bank. If you are in California, it's a California bank. The other type of bank is a much more encompassing bank, which is called the national bank. The national bank is regulated and licensed by the Department of Treasury of the federal government of the United States. But to bring it closer, I see people here from maybe Nigeria, Yemen, Somalia, Malaysia. Let's imagine they are all getting together. So each one of these states will have its own national bank, and that national bank will issue a license to operate in Somalia, to operate in Yemen, to operate in Malaysia. But because of the federal union between all these states, the Treasury Department of the United States federal government would issue the national bank licenses and would license it and also manage it and supervise it. So we have a national bank called the National Bank of Whittier, or Bank of Whittier National Association, which is owned by the group. And let me tell you something right at the outset. We don't have any foreign capital. Of course, we'd love to. I'm not saying we don't, but we do not have any capital from the rich Gulf countries or from any outside sources. It's all capital that was collected from our community. People like me, just humble middle-class person, and we raised about $200,000 back in 1987, and today we have about $400 million in assets that are under management by the grace of Allah. And yubarikullahu fil khalif. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts barakah in what is humble, and with the sincerity, the good work, inshallah, will produce good results. We finance everything. We finance automobiles, home financing and refinancing. We finance fast food chains. We do Kentucky Fried Chicken. We do ice cream stores. You name it, and we do it. And the whole idea here is to empower the community such that they become independent businessmen and women. And when they are independent and they are enriched, then they will pay the zakah to the Islamic Center. And this way the Islamic Center will also flourish. And then we have a movement that inshallah will be a wonderful, wonderful window to look at the Muslims in action. Different from the window you see on television these days, inshallah. So that's what LARIBA is all about. We do commercial buildings, doctor's clinic, a lot of Islamic centers we finance, Islamic schools we have financed, and we do also churches. And we have the account of synagogues, Ma'abid al-Ahudiyya, and so on and so forth. Because we want to use this as a window for da'wah. Who knows, one day, one of these people will say, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. And God is my witness. When we tell people about our discipline, when we tell people about what we do, they tell us, non-Muslims, they tell us we have never heard bankers speak to us like this before. This is a true statement, repeated over and over again. The LARIBA is a movement. We don't look at it only as a business, but we look at it as a movement. And the objective of it is to achieve what we call the RF lifestyle, the riba-free lifestyle. Now, it doesn't make any difference if you're wearing a hijab from Farida, which is very expensive here in Malaysia, I'm told, and the regular hijab which you bought from any store. The real difference is who you are, and how clean you are, and how you present yourself. It doesn't make a difference if you're wearing expensive shoes, or driving a Mercedes, or a Jaguar, so on. It's all in here. Well, as long as you have a means of transportation, then that's what counts. And the underlying important factor that we want to teach people, our customers, when they come in to apply for financing, we want to tell them to live within your means. When you use the credit card, use it wisely, because a credit card really is not designed to be a piece of plastic by which you take loans at 30% and 25%. It is designed to be a charge card, and that was the old name for a credit card, that you're using it to facilitate the process of buying without losing your money, somebody pickpocket you, and so on and so forth. So it's a lifestyle. It doesn't make any difference if you're driving a smart car or a Toyota or a Rolls Royce, and it doesn't make you better or not. And that is the kind of thing that we tell our customers. And I always mention the story when I had a very wonderful friend, well-to-do, walking on Fifth Avenue in New York, and he saw a Bali shoe store. And he said, oh, let's go and see the shoes. So I walk in, and the salesman talks to him and sells him. He bought 2 shoes. You know what Bali shoes are, huh? Very famous shoes. $2,000 a pair of shoes and stuff like that. So he went out, he bought 2 pairs of shoes.